there's a lot of women who can climax on their own but don't climax with a partner. Like I've met all these women like in their 50s or 40s who like went their entire lives like never being able to climax in the presence of a man. And it's because you're afraid, these people, same thing with men or us in the past, like being unwilling to have ourselves felt. Because that's what connection is. The thing you really want, the satiating piece of sex, is connection. It's not coming in a condom.
For guys out there, this may sound crazy, because I know some guys are out there going, but I really do want to get laid. You're going to find, if you actually succeed at getting laid without connection, that pretty soon you feel even shittier. And that's the hard part to get. So with connection comes, from what I've seen, vulnerability. What's the difference between vulnerability, in your opinion, and just being plain needy? Because I think a lot of men associate vulnerability. I don't want to be vulnerable, it's needy, it's weak.
I was super against vulnerability during like the Viagra era. Like they were very much linked.
Viagra era.
Yeah.
Whole era.
Yeah. Well, it was a while. It was like a year. The way I eventually got out of it, I was doing different body-based practices, but the real thing that got me like off of Viagra and like having normal and eventually amazing sex was this willingness to like admit to women when I was in bed with them, like, listen, I have this like issue, and like just like saying it, and like it was so humiliating to say that, especially with a woman who wanted to sleep with me, but it was also freeing. Like every time I said it or shared it with someone, like a layer of wall was being taken off of me, and eventually like I was so like cleaned off, and I was, you know, this wasn't the only place I was being vulnerable, but it was a big piece for me. Eventually, like I could suddenly feel my body again. The bastardized version of that, or the, you know, perverse version of that, is when guys, like, I don't want to keep dumping on like new agey guys, but like they realize vulnerability is important. It's like cherished in like the post-feminist world, and they use it over and over and over again because they think that'll give them validation. If you're doing it because like something needs to come out of your soul that needs to be expressed because you've been hiding yourself from the world, because you have a thing you're ashamed of or whatever, like that's powerful vulnerability that's going to make you feel more and be connected to people, and then get all these things like relationships and sex or whatever on a fulfilling level. Whereas if you're doing it for validation, like that's the neediness, and you're actually putting up another wall where like you're like this facade, I was vulnerable for you, please like me, as opposed to like, this is me. That's the difference.
It's a big difference. I always say vulnerability is confidence. The only way you can share all that and not ask her to validate you back, not ask for anything in return, not require her to make you feel good about it, and just be okay with sharing and leaving it, and that's it. This is my truth. You have to be confident. And if you're not, it's going to develop it. It's going to build utter confidence in you, and that's uber attractive. And then what's vulnerable now, someday will be nothing, and then you'll need a whole new layer of vulnerability.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the real way to heal shame. All your social issues, whether you consider them issues or not, anything that's keeping you from your full self is related to some sort of shame. Like we all have it. Like maybe you'll never be free of it in this lifetime, but like you can get a ton of shit out of the way if you're just willing to be vulnerable.
Ruwan pulled this off in like a moment's notice. Do this, what, in like 4 weeks?
Yeah, not even like 3.5 weeks.
And that's very impressive, because I've seen people try to pull off more, or less, and more time, and still not succeed. We had a great day of learning.
I promise you, as I've learned more and more, it is. I spent 4 years with one teacher, a great teacher, who showed me through a lot of high-def video review of me and other students in the room how much your subcommunication is affecting everybody in the room.